about this and talking about it, but it never seemed very complex to me. But I always wondered why we didn't, as a country, accept the whole principles of liberty. You know, personal liberty, economic liberty, and a sensible foreign policy and a sensible monetary policy. That's what would give us peace and prosperity. It wasn't too long ago, and it doesn't happen too infrequently, they'll come up and they'll say, Ron, if you would only change your foreign policy, maybe you would get some supporters. I said, well, that's the main reason so many joined me, is because of the foreign policy. The American people are waking up and they're sick and tired of wars that are lasting 12 years, undeclared wars. We don't know why we're there. We won't know when we're finished. And it looks like we're waiting until this country goes bankrupt. I'd like to stop the wars before we go bankrupt. The answer's rather simple. We just come home. The war was not declared and they're not going well. We're going broke. So somebody said, well, how long would it take to get home? I said, as soon as we get the ships over there, we bring them home. It's very, very important. We live in dangerous times because we have a systematic attack on our civil liberties here at home. We don't have our privacy. We have way too much secrecy in our government and none of our privacy. We're involved in so many wars, and yet we don't have more security and more safety and more national defense. We've been so involved in the economy, spending too much money, and the economy's on the brink. Even on the surface, things look reasonably well for a fair number of people, but even what you see is based on debt. And you can't build a healthy economy and produce jobs of just government spending. What we need is just a lot more people in Washington that know and understand and take their oath of office seriously and obey the Constitution. That's what we're So we've put up for about 100 years with a changed tax policy, the IRS, the Federal Reserve, and a foreign policy that has changed, and that's why we're into this mess right now. So I would say that we need a better understanding that personal liberty and economic liberty is one and the same. Our lives and our liberties come to us in a natural way. The government can't give us those rights, but they should be protecting them. They shouldn't be undermining them. Our government now is undermining our liberties and destroying the economy and for the benefit of the special interests. To me, the only special interest we should deal with is each and every individual, because an individual has the right to their life. If we did that, put the responsibility on the individuals, not only to take care of themselves, but to be able to keep the fruits of their labor, believe me, we would have a much more peaceful world. We would have a much more sensible, more productive economy. And the goal ought to be on all political action for peace and prosperity. That is my goal. I'm delighted that you share that with me. And let's keep up the fight. And thank you very much.